You pick up your phone, swipe down the control panel. There it is, the familiar Bluetooth icon, a stylized B, tilted a little, tech-looking, futuristic. That's what you thought. Right, sorry to break it to you. You've actually been staring at a 1,000-year-old Viking script for more than a decade. Yes. The symbol connecting your headphones, speakers, and keyboards isn't just a letter B. It's a bind rune, a merged rune, two ancient characters layered together. Hagal, the letter H, and Bjarkan, the letter B. Together, they reference Harald Bluetooth, a king who lived in northern Europe in the 10th century. There was no Wi-Fi back then, but there were tribal wars. And Harald had a very modern skill. He united the scattered tribes of Denmark and Norway into one kingdom. Sound familiar? A king who connected divided groups. A technology that connects separate devices. That isn't coincidence. That's intentional design. But wait, why would a late 20th century wireless standard carry the spirit of a Viking king who decided that, and out of hundreds of futuristic-sounding names, why choose one inspired by a bad tooth? To answer that, we need to go back to a summer evening in 1997. And believe me, the story doesn't begin in a laboratory. It starts in a bar. Sama 1997. Toronto. Two engineers, one from Intel, one from Ericsson, were having drinks together, not complaining about life, but trying to solve a frustrating problem: how to create a shared wireless standard for phones, laptops, and headsets so every company wouldn't build incompatible systems. They talked about history, about tribal conflicts, about King Harald, the man who unified rival factions into one realm. One engineer mentioned Harald's nickname, Bluetooth. Supposedly, he had a dead tooth, dark, maybe bluish. Cosmetic dentistry wasn't exactly a thing in the 10th century. Bluetooth, a king famous for uniting Scandinavia, yet remembered for a decayed tooth. History sometimes has a dry sense of humor. And then they looked back at their project, a technology meant to unify fragmented communication protocols. A Viking king did it with people. This technology was about to do it with machines. Bluetooth was only meant to be a temporary internal code name, like naming a kitten before deciding on its real name. Nobody expected it to survive. But the story took a turn as the project approached launch day. Marketing entered the scene. When the technology was ready, the marketing team proposed two proper corporate names. The first was PAN, short for Personal Area Network, academic, precise, and extremely forgettable. Calling it PAN felt like calling a phone a personal acoustic signal transmission device. Accurate. Maybe. Memorable. Not really. The second option was radio wire. Logical enough: radio waves. Wireless communication. But there was a small problem: legal paperwork. The lawyers couldn't secure the trademark in time before launch. You know that feeling like submitting an assignment only to realize the file formatting broke at the last second. The deadline was closing in. The product was about to step onto the stage. The official name still wasn't finalized, and somewhere in the internal emails, Bluetooth was still floating around like a running joke. Then someone said, "What if we just use this for now?" Imagine that moment. A last-minute decision. Not a 5-year branding strategy. Not a massive market study. Just running out of time. And so Bluetooth went public, a name inspired by a discolored tooth from the 10th century. Now representing a global wireless standard. Sounds absurd, maybe? But that absurdity made it unforgettable. If they had chosen PAN, it might have disappeared into a sea of technical acronyms. If it had been radio wire, it could have sounded like a forgotten modem from 2003. But Bluetooth, strange and unique, and backed by a story. And stories stick in our minds far longer than technical specifications. Now look at that logo again. Two ancient runes stacked together. A Viking king with a damaged tooth. A bar conversation in 1997. A deadline almost missed. and billions of devices quietly talking to each other because of that one decision. Every time you turn on your wireless earbuds, you're not just activating a 2.4 GHz radio chip, a frequency with wavelengths around 12 femcentimeters, shorter than the pen you might be holding. You're lighting up the symbol of a king who lived more than 1,000 years ago. The newest technology sometimes carries the oldest spirit, and billion-dollar brands sometimes begin as a joke, shared over drinks. So next time someone asks, "Is that logo just a bee?" you can smile and tell them about Herald Bluetooth, about Bind Runes, about a discolored tooth that accidentally helped connect the world. And if you enjoy these object detective stories where everyday symbols hide ancient secrets, there's another suspect waiting to be interrogated. Trust me, it's probably sitting right in your pocket.